2.3 Observations Checklist Group 2. You are listening to the book Let's Unfold the Wings of Creativity. This book about development of scientific creativity is the English translation of the original Marathi book written by Dr. Nalini Gujrathi. The translation has been done by Suchitra Chitrao, edited by Sulabha Sidhaye, and this book is being read out to you by Dr. Deepthi Sidhaye. This book is a publication of Jnana Prabodhini. Let's hear it. 2.3 Observation Checklist Group 2 under the chapter Observation Skills. Pratibhatai. Has everyone done last week's homework? Naveen, Kalpana, Srijan together. Yes! Prerna. I couldn't find time, but will definitely do it in a couple of days. Pratibhatai. No worries. Now exchange your notebooks and give feedback to each other's special observations. The students exchange books and give their feedback. Pratibhatai. Well, let's discuss the second group in our checklist. There are 5 points in this list. 1. Interrelationship between components and properties. 2. Changes or transformations induced by processing. 3. Changes or transformations occurring at various stages. 4. Effect of the external factors on the object. 5. Unusual or out-of-the-box observations. Kalpana. Tai, these points look quite unfamiliar. How to apply them in our observations? Pratibhatai. These points are not much known but are quite significant in developing our creativity skills. We have already recorded our observations about the parts and the properties. Let's discuss how they are related to one another. Wax and the wick. Both are combustible substances, aren't they? What is the difference between their combustibility? Prerna. The wick catches fire quickly, but wax burns slowly. That means candle cannot be lighted unless these two come together. Pratibhatai. This observation is best understood when we think about the interrelationship between the wick and the wax. Now, let's move on to changes due to processing. You have already noted down some observations, remember? Kalpana. When we light a candle, the wax melts. A small depression is formed at the top. The melted wax gets collected there and starts flowing. Once it cools down, it turns into solid chunks. I noticed one more thing. As time elapses, the candle becomes shorter and shorter. It loses weight too. Srijan. Fantastic! This is a real minute observation. Pratibhatai. These were the changes due to processing, that is, burning of a candle. We don't see considerable changes at different stages when we observe a candle. In various biological processes, like the growth of cells, the changes at different stages are quite prominent. We also need to observe the effects of external factors like weather, sun, water, rain, and so on. These factors will not cause any immediate changes in the candle. For this, we need to record our observations for a long time, perhaps a few days or a few months. A strong gust of wind will blow out the candle, of course. Any idea how water affects metal and fruits? Naveen. In the rainy season, iron rusts. Copper turns green. Silver gets tarnished to black. I have seen on some TV news channels that fruits like grapes, pomegranates and mangoes rot due to untimely rains. Pratibhatai. Yes, now the last point is about unusual observations. There are certain things which generally go unnoticed, but sometimes observations of such factors lead to great discoveries. Remember in the beginning, Srijan had told us that the candle casts a shadow. This was an unexpected observation. Have a look at the lighted candle again. Look minutely and tell us if you notice anything different. Once again, the students observe the candle. Kalpana. Tai, may I start? Inverted image of the flame is seen in the depression formed by melted wax. The flame appears to be separated from the wick and floating in the air. There's a tiny gap of about 1 millimeter between them. Srujan, wow, that's great. It's my turn now. The tip of the wick is black. Naveen, carbon particles are deposited there. Srujan, yes, after blowing the candle out, the wick looks red like an ember. Prerna, I have an interesting observation, almost a magic trick. If we move our finger quickly through the flame, it doesn't burn. Of course, we have to be really fast. Pratibhatai, oh my god, be careful when you conduct such experiments. Such a crazy action might land you in trouble. Prerna, we'll take care, don't worry, Tai. If we hold a lighted candle upside down, it keeps on burning for a while. The flame is pointed upwards, but wax starts melting and flowing down. It blows out. Kalpana, if we hold a piece of paper slightly away from the flame, it gathers soot. Pratibhatai, wow, you children have become young scientists already? Such out of the box observations are very important. What a long list of observations we came up with when considering these 10 points. Such observations play a major role in critical thinking and drawing conclusions. Naveen, Tai, we have studied a fantastic example of such an out of the box observation in our textbook. With this experiment, Rutherford discovered the atomic nucleus. He bombarded alpha particles on thin gold foil. A fluorescent screen was placed around it. The number of alpha particles were counted by the scintillations on the screen. He noted the following observations. 1. 95% of the alpha particles traveled in a straight line. 2. 4% of the particles were deflected through a small angle. 3. 1% or even less number of particles were deflected at 180 degrees and rebounded on the foil. They collided on the side opposite to the screen. The third observation was very minute and totally unexpected. Considering these observations very critically, he drew conclusions about the atomic nucleus and atomic space. Srujan, may I tell you how he reached the conclusions? Most of the alpha particles travel without hindrance. This means there must be a huge empty space inside the atom. Alpha particles are positively charged. If they get deflected, they must be coming across a positively charged body. 1 out of 100 particles get reflected through 180 degrees, which means that it collides with a positively charged body. This means that the nucleus is a compact, dense and positively charged body. Rutherford was the one who solved the mystery of atomic structure. Pratibhatai, that's right, the discovery is one of its kind. A classic example of out-of-the-box minute observations and logical deduction. Observations also help us enhance our creative thinking ability, you see. Creativity means doing something new. Modifying a pre-existing thing makes it new. Suppose you are a candle manufacturer and you wish to launch a new type of candle in the market. If you just consider each of your observations and ask yourself what modifications can be made in this observation, you can come up with lots and lots of ideas. Of course, all of them may not be feasible, still you can try experimenting with your ideas. A successful trial will make you a successful business person. For instance, the candle gives out yellow light. Can we make a candle which would give us a light of different color? I would like you all to recall something. If a glass rod is held on a burner after dipping it in a solution that contains compounds of metals like sodium, calcium or potassium, the flame looks colorful. Srujan. Oh, so if we mix these chemicals in the wax while making a candle, it may give out light of various colors. I can't wait to try it out. Pratibhatai. I'm sure you now know the significance of observations. Observation is an important factor. In almost all the techniques of enhancing creativity, observation is a fundamental skill of prime importance. Another technique named attribute listing is totally based on observations. If you wish to observe various things, you should practice this observation skill more often. I am giving you an exercise. Do it at home or in the science lab at school and record as many observations as you can. Remember to use the checklist. Actually, later we can share your observations with other students too. Observations make us curious and a lot of questions come to our minds. In the next class, let's discuss the questioning skills. Prerna. Is there a checklist for questioning skills too? Pratibha. You will know it soon. We are going to start the next class with an interesting game. Everyone, looking forward to it. Exercise for this chapter. Below is a subject-wise list of different objects or activities. Observe them carefully and record your observations using the checklist. Physics. Thermometer, magnetic needle, toy car with 1.5 volt, thermoflask, convex lens. Chemistry. Note that these experiments should be performed in the laboratory, strictly under guidance of teachers. 1. Reaction of concentrated nitric acid on copper filings. 2. Reaction of dilute hydrochloric acid on a piece of zinc. 3. Burning magnesium ribbon on a burner. 4. Reaction of water on a piece of sodium. 5. Reaction of dilute hydrochloric acid on calcium carbonate. Now, biology. 1. Microscope. 2. Sprout any lentils like green gram or dew bean and observe them. 3. Hibiscus or any other flower. 4. Banyan or peepal or any other leaf. 5. Fern or any other potted plant. Now, commonplace or in everyday use things. 1. Ballpoint pen. 2. Weighing scale. 3. Electric bulb. 4. Timepiece or table clock. 5. Calendar page of the current month.